Good morning. Welcome now to our math class, week 2, quarter 3. Before we start our lesson, we're going to pray. Please put your head, bow your head and put the presence to the Lord. Yeah. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to begin this new school day. We ask that you bless the learners and the teachers that make our school a great place. We pray that you will guide us in all ways so that you will seek your will in everything that we do. We ask this in the name of Jesus our Lord. Amen. Okay, so last week um, we done our lesson and some of you got the highest grade in application and evaluation. So these are the pupils who got the highest grades in their respective section. Alright, so our outstanding learners of the week for the first week are, okay, from 5 Liberty we have Advincula Ronan Matthew, and he got 96% for the reflection, application, and evaluation. So palakpakan natin si Advincula Ronan. And for the other section, we have from 5 Hope, we have De Guzman Kathleen Jazz. She got 98%. So palakpakan natin sila. So, in 5 Hope mainly got 96, but I only got 1 because the who got the top 1 should have the award for the week. So, padadalhan ko kayo ng inyong award sa inyong messenger. Okay. So, are you ready now? And who will be the next outstanding learner of the week? Okay, so this week, we're going to study about finding the percentage in a given problem. Then the second one is solving routine and non-routine problems involving percentage using appropriate strategies and tools. And at the end of the lesson, you are expected to 1. Find the percentage in a given problem. 2. Solve routine and non-routine problems involving percentage using appropriate strategies and tools. And also, you're going to be an instrument in the conservation of the environment as our values this week. Okay, so before we go on to our lesson, we're going to check of your assessment last week. So this is your assessment. So for number 1, what term means per hundred? So the answer is percent. Letter B. Second one, which of the following is correct? We have letter A. 33% is also equals 33 hundredths. The number 3, we have 45% of the grade 5 pupils are girls. Express 45% as decimal. So we move the decimal points from here, 1, 2, so it becomes 45 hundredths. So the answer is letter B. Then for number 4, in the statement, 35% of 60 equals 210, which is the percentage. Okay, so the percentage is 210. Letter C. Then, for the number 5, which does not belong. Ang hindi kasama. Let's have number 1, 21%. Letter A, 21%. Letter B, 21 hundredths. And letter C, 21 is to 100. And letter D is 21. So, 21 is not included. So, that is letter D. Why? Okay, so 21 is a whole number. This one is a percent. And this one is fraction form of percent. And this is the ratio form of percent. So, they are equal. this one is not belong because this is the whole number. Okay, for number 6, which element of percent represent part of the whole? So the part of the whole is letter percentage. Part of a whole. Galing siya sa kabuuan. Then number 7, in a survey, on the choice of pizza, 900 out of 1,500 people preferred brand A than to brand B. What percent preferred to A? So what is the missing element? So the missing element is rate. Because we do not have the number with a percent sign. Okay, then number 8, we have what is the missing element in the problem. A big theater has 1,400 seats. During a concert, it is 95% full. How many seats were taken? So, what is asked in that problem? It's asked about the percentage. So, the rate. How many seats were taken? So, the percentage. So, the answer is letter C. So, this is wrong. Letter C. The answer is letter C for number 8. Okay. Number 9, we have which element of percent represents the whole? Ano yung kabuuan natin? The base, the letter A. Then, the last number, number 5, ay number 10, how many is 75% of class in fraction form? So, 75% in a fraction form is 75 hundredths in lowest term, that is 3/4. Okay, so, many got the correct, perfect score. But some of you got lowest score. I have one, remember one learner that he or his score, her or his score is only 1. So in other words, she or she cannot understand our lesson last week. So all you have to do is to review the video lesson. Okay? So, we have also learned last week about the elements of percent. So, what are the elements of percent? So, we have the element of percent. Again, we have percentage. The percentage is a part of the whole. And then, we have the rate. The rate has always a percent sign. And the base, this is the whole part or ang kabuuan. And then, we can identify also the elements of percent in a given problem. Let's say, for example, this one, find 3% of 300. So, 3%, what element? Okay, that is rate. And then we have of 300 is the base. So that is how to identify the element of percent. So the missing element here in our statement is the percentage. So the percentage is the answer of asking find the 3% of 300. And then, how do we find the percentage? Okay, we have the formula P equals R times B. So P represents as percentage, R represents as the rate, and then B is represent as base. Okay, to go have more knowledge and have more understanding about our lesson this morning, we go now to our lesson. Okay, what have you seen in the picture? That is the Philippine eagle. So the Philippine eagle, class, is one of the country's problem about the extinction of some endangered species in our forests, particularly in the Philippines. So now, class, how can you protect to our environment, to our Philippine eagle? How can we preserve? Okay, so we can preserve by not catching them. What else? By conserving our environment. planting trees so that they have the trees to be para meron silang mapaglaruan, meron silang madadapuan. Okay, so the importance of protecting the endangered species in our local environment is very important. So we're going to protect our environment so that the endangered species and especially the Philippine eagle will preserve. Okay, so the Philippine eagle has a what we call this importance or mayroon siya kinalaman in our problem. So let's have this. So almost 75% of the 40 species of Philippine eagle is the endanger of extinction. How many species is endangered? So this kind of problem class, we call this routine problem. Why routine problem? Okay, so routine problem is a type of problem in which there is an immediate solution. In other words, we can solve right away. Okay, so go back to the problem. Almost 75%. So 75% is the rate. Then 40 species of Philippine eagle is in danger of extinction. So 40 species is the base. The question is, how many species is endangered? So in that kind of problem, that is meant, you are going to find the percentage. The percentage of endangered Philippine eagle. So you can solve it right away by finding the percentage. And then we have this another problem. Okay. So there are 630 grade 5 learners in Imus Pilot Elementary School. 50% of them are enrolled in the modular distance learning, 30% are enrolled in an ODL synchronous, and the rest are in ODL asynchronous. Okay, how many are enrolled in modular distance learning? How many are enrolled in ODL synchronous? And how many learners are enrolled in an ODL asynchronous? This type of problem is we call non-routine. And when we speak about non-routine, it is a problem that requires analysis and insights into known principles of mathematics. Or shall we say, we have more than 2 operations to be used in order to get the answer in the problem. So that's the, we call the non-routine and the routine problem. So going back to the routine problem, okay, so we are going to solve that. As what I have said a while ago, we can get the answers right away or we can solve the answer right away. So how do we get the percentage? So a while ago, I said that the formula in finding the percentage is P equals rate times base. So we are going to multiply the base and the rate in order to get the percentage. So again, the formula is P equals rate times base. So this is our formula, rate times base. So in finding the percentage, again, P represent as percentage, R represent as rate, and B represent as base. So in order to get the percentage of a given problem or a given situation or equation, we are going to change first this rate into decimal number before we solve. Can you understand? Gawin muna natin siyang decimal number before we multiply. So let's have this. P equals 75% times 40. So, again, we are going to change this into a decimal number. So, paano yan? So, di ba, pag 70%, change to the decimal number, move the decimal points twice to the right. So, we have 1, 2. So, magiging ano siya? It becomes 70, 100. So, nandito yung decimal points natin. Can you follow? Okay. Now, we're going to solve now. So, we are going to substitute now 70 hundredths times 40. Okay. 70 hundredths times 40. So we're going to multiply 40 times 70 hundredths. Okay, bring down 0. Then 7 times 0 equals 0. 7 times 4 equals 20. Then count the number of decimal places. 1, 2. So we have 1, 2. So the answer is 28. So the percentage is equals 28. So this is now our answer. So going back to the problem, almost 70% of the 40 species of Philippine eagle is endangered of extinction. How many species is endangered? So the number of species that are endangered are 28 species. So biruin mo yun, 28 na yung nanganganib ang buhay. Endangered. Mauubos na, manganganib na maubos ang mga Philippine eagles. Kaya we need to conserve our environment. We're going to protect our environment. Okay, so that is how to solve the routine problem. And if you have noticed, we are only solving one operation. So that is multiplication. So in finding the percentage, we are going to multiply. Do you know the song about the percentage? P, R, and the base. We divide, multiply, percentage, rate, and base. So in other words, the operations that we are going to use in finding the percentage is multiply. We're going to divide if we are going to find the rate. And we are also to divide when we are going to find the base. So that is the song all about. We divide, multiply, percentage, rate, and base. Okay, now, we're going to solve now the second problem. The non-routine problem. Ulit nga, pag sinabi natin non-routine problem, it involves more than 2 operations. It's either nag-multiply ka, nag-divide ka, nag-add ka, or you do multiplication 3 times. And that is non-routine. Because we cannot get the answers right away without solving all the problem or all the what is asked in the problem. So now we are going to analyze. According to the non-routine problem, it needs about the analysis or requires analysis and insights. So we are going to use our analytical mind. Okay, so in solving non-routine problem class, we have 4 steps. The first one is understand. Again, in solving the non-routine word problem, we have 4 steps. One is understand. How do we understand the problem? So we can understand the problem if we know what is asked. Alamin muna natin kung ano ang tinatanong, kung ano ang hinihingi sa problem. Then the second one, we are going to know what are the given facts. Ano ba itong tinatawag na given facts? These are the numbers that we are going to use to solve the problem. Sila ang gagamitin natin para isolve. At yan ay mga numbers. That is what are the given. So, in our problem, going back to our problem a while ago, so what is asked in this problem? So, in this problem, it asks 3 or it requires 3 answers. And what are those? We have the number of learners enrolled in MDL or Modular Distance Learner. That is here in our problem. The second one, the number of learners enrolled in ODL Synchronous. And this is 1. And the third one, the number of learners enrolled in ODL Asynchronous. And this is 1. So look at this. This problem requires 3 answers. And that is why we call this non-routine problem. Dahil 3 ang kailangan na sagot. Okay. So after finding what is asked and what are the given facts, okay, so what is asked or what are the given facts? We have this 360 and then we have 50%, so na ano ang ating percentage, and then we have 30%. So nagkalito-lito, nandito po dapat yan. Hindi ilog natin na gagalaw. So, our given facts are 630, 50%, and 30%. And these given facts is used to solve our problem. Ano nga ulit ang hinihingi sa problem? Ang hinihingi sa problem ay number of learners enrolled in MDL, number of learners enrolled in ODL synchronous, and number of learners enrolled in ODL asynchronous. Then, after we know what is asked and what are the given facts, we are going to go to the next step, and that is step 2, plan. How do we plan the word problem? Or how do we plan in order to get the answer? So under the plan, we are going to know what strategy can you use to solve the problem. So looking at the problem, syempre alam na natin kung ano ang tungkol sa problem na to. It involves what? We're going to find the percentage. Or we are going to solve the percentage of enrolled MDL, enrolled ODL synchronous, and enrolled ODL asynchronous. So we are those three are finding the percentage, and that the operation that you are going to use is multiplication. Then after you know the strategy, we are going to know what is the formula in finding the percentage, since this is our strategy. So what is the formula in finding the percentage? So the formula in finding the percentage is P equals R times B, wherein P represents as percentage, R represents as rate, and B stands for the base. And before multiplying, you are going to change first your rate to a decimal number. Kailangan muna natin i-change si rate sa decimal number before we multiply. Okay. Then, after we plan, what is the next step? We're going to solve. Now, we are going to solve the problem now. In our, what is asked for the first answer, then need answer rather, is the number of learners enrolled in MDL. So, MDL muna ang ating kukunin. So, there are 630 grade 5 learners in Imus Pilot Elementary School. 50% of them are enrolled in the modular distance learning. So, 50%. So, 50%, we're going to solve. So, 50% of 600. So in other words, when you say 50%, that is half of the 600. So this is how to get the answer for number 1. P equals R times B. Always start with the formula in solving the percentage, or solving the rate, or solving the percentage. So substitute R. Our R is 50%. Then multiply, 50%, then multiplied by the base is 630. Again, we're going to change this 50% to a decimal number, and this becomes 50 hundredths. So, move lang yung decimal points, 1, 2, dito na yung magiging decimal points. Twice lagi ang pag-move, tandaan natin. Then multiply 630. Can you follow? Okay, very good. Now, so let's have this 630 times 50 hundredths. Ayan. Okay, nagdalawa yung ating tuldok. So we have 50 hundredths. So, bring down 0. Then, 5 times 0 equals 0. 5 times 3 equals 15. Bring down 5, carry up 1. 5 times 6 equals 30 plus 1, 31. Then count the number of decimal places. 1, 2. 1, 2. So therefore, this is 315. So we're going to delete this one. So the answer for number 1 is 315. So in other words, the MDL learners, the learners enrolled in MDL are 15 learners. 15 rather. 315 learners. So this is for the MDL. So we got the answer for the first asked. How about the second question? How many are enrolled in ODL synchronous? And the given facts for the synchronous is 30% are enrolled in an ODL synchronous. So 30% of 630. Very good. So now, we're going to write here our MDL. So our MDL is 315. Right. We're going to use that afterwards, after we solve the second and the third questions. Okay. So the second question, or the second required an answer is the number of learners enrolled in ODL synchronous. So our rate in the synchronous is 30%. This one, 30% of 630. Okay, can you follow? So again, we're going to change first this one to a decimal number. Move twice, 1, 2. So this is 30 hundredths times 630. So we're going to multiply 630 times 30 hundredths. So we have, bring down 0. 3 times 0 equals 0. 3 times 3 equals 9. 3 times 6 equals 18. Then count the number of decimal places. 1, 2, 1, 2. So this is 189. So the ODL synchronous, ODL synchronous is equals 189. Now, the third one. Number of learners enrolled in ODL asynchronous. Going back to the problem. Enrolled in an ODL synchronous and the rest are enrolled in ODL asynchronous. The rest. So what we are going to do in order to get the answer for the ODL asynchronous? Okay, so we are going to combine the answer for the MDL and the ODL synchronous, then subtract to 630 in order to get the number of ODL asynchronous. And this is not required percentage anymore. Okay, so now we are going to add or sum up. Our MDL is 315 and our ODL synchronous is equals 189. So we are going to solve this one. And this is equals 14 carry 1, 10 carry 1, 5. Now, what we are going to do with this 504? We're going to subtract from 630. Okay, we're going to subtract 630 minus 504. Then we have 0 minus 4 cannot be borrowed from 3. 3 becomes 2. 0 becomes 10. 10 minus 4 equals 6. 2 minus 0 equals 2. 6 minus 5 equals 1. So this 126 is the ODL asynchronous. So this is now our answer for the ODL asynchronous. Now, we have ODL A asynchronous. This one S synchronous. We have 126. Okay. So this is now the step 3. We solved, we got the number of learners enrolled in MDL again is 315. And the number of learners enrolled in ODL Synchronous is 189. And the number of learners enrolled in ODL Asynchronous is 126. Now, let's go now to the last steps in solving non-routine problem. And the last step is check. How do we check the answer? Paano na natin malaman na yung answer natin pala ay tama? So, what we are going to do? We are going to sum up the 3 answers. We're going to add these 3 in order to know that if our answer is checked, if the total of this enrollment is equals 630, if the total of these 3 different modalities is 630, our answer is checked. So, shall we solve? Or let us solve now. 5 plus 9 equals 14 plus 6 is 20. Bring down 0, carry up 2. 2 plus 1 equals 3 plus 8 equals 11 plus 2 equals 13. Bring down 3, carry up 1. 1 plus 3 equals 4 plus 1 equals 5 plus 1 equals 6. So the total is 630. And that is 630. Therefore, our answer is correct. So that is how to check the answer in solving the 4 steps of non-routine word problem. Any question? Are you sure? So again, what are the steps in solving non-routine word problem is, first you understand. Under the understand, you're going to know what is asked and then what are the given facts. Then the second step is plan. How do we plan? We're going to find the strategy that we are going to use in order to solve the problem. And what is the formula needed in order to solve the problem. Then after that, you're going to solve. And then after you've solved, you're going to check or you're going to look back your answer if it is makes sense. It is understood? Alright. Now, let's have this another example. If Jade scored 90% on a 50-item mathematics test, how many items did she miss? So, what problem is this? Is this non-routine or routine problem? Okay, this is non-routine. But we are not going to follow the steps. We're going to solve right away because it is a very simple non-routine word problem. Madali lang siya. Okay, why is it that I'm telling you this is a non-routine problem? Because it involves 2 operations in order to get the answer. Why? Okay, look at this. If Jade scored 90% on a 50-item mathematics test, how many items did she miss? Okay, this one is correct. And this one is miscorrect or he's wrong. So there is contrast. Ang tamang sagot, ang mga maling sagot. So that is why we have 2 operations to be used in order to get the answer. So and how it is done. Okay, I'm going to give 2 ways on how to get the answer for the number 1. So the first is by subtracting the percent. So in percent, again, is always 100. So for 100% minus 90%, that is percent sign 0, 10 minus 9 equals 1. So 10%. So in other words, Jade missed 10% of the test question. So now we're going to solve. 50 or P equals rate times base. So we have 10% of or times 50. So this is 10 hundredths times 50. Then we have 50 times 10 hundredths. Okay, bring down 0. 1 times 0 equals 0. 1 times 5 equals 5. Count the number of decimal places. We have 1, 2, 1, 2. So this is now 5. So the answer is 5. So in other words, Jade got 5 mistakes in his test. Here, test in mathematics. This is the first technique. The other technique is by solving the 50%, the 90% of 50. We're going to compare if they have the same answer. So we have P equals rate times base. So we have 50%, 90% rather, 90% times 50 equals, so 90% becomes 90 hundredths times 50. So we're going to multiply 50 times 90 hundredths. So bring down 0, 9 times 0 equals 0, 9 times 5 equals 45. Count the number of decimal places. We have 1, 2, kaya 1, 2, ito siya, 45. So, the equivalent for 90% is 45 items. So, ito yung tama niya, 45 items. So, ima-minus natin sa 50, 45 minus, 50 minus 45 equals 5 points. Did you get? So, the same lang din. You are going to subtract. So, 50 minus 45 equals 5. So, 5 items, Jade got mistakes. Ayan. So, parehas lang din yung lalabas. And this also, this same, 2 operations also yung ginamit natin. In this one, we subtract first the percent, 100% minus yung ilang percents, and that is 90%, and that is 10%. Then 10% times 50 equals 5. Dito naman, we get first the percentage of 90. So 90% times 50, that is 45 items. Then 50 minus 45 equals 5 items. So parehas lang din po yung answer. Can you follow? Okay, very good. So the answer is 5 missed items. So, okay, for number 2, Jam sold 80% of the mango in her store. If there were 150 kilograms of mangoes in the store, how many kilograms did she sell? Alright, so look at this problem. Jam sold 80% of the mango in her store. So, 80% ang naibenta niya. If there were 150 kilograms of mangoes in their store, how many kilograms did she sell? So, this type of problem is routine problem. Kasi, basic is only one operation that we are going to use. And that is, we are going to find the percentage or the percentage of that problem. Okay, so again, we're going to start with the formula. P equals rate times base. Ilan ang ating rate dyan? We have 80%. So, 80% times, ilan ang base natin? 150 kilogram. 150 kilogram. Now, change this to decimal number. Move the decimal points to the right. 1, 2, or to the left. So, that is 80 hundredths. Then, times 150. So, we're going to solve 150 times 80 hundredths. Okay, bring down 0. 8 times 0 equals 0. 8 times 5 equals 40. Carry 4. 8 times 1 equals 8 plus 2 equals 12. Count the number of decimal places. 1, 2. 1, 2. So, this is 120 kilogram. So, the answer is 120 kilograms of mangoes did Jam sold on that day or in her store. So that is how to get the percentage. Any question? Okay, if there is none, let's have to answer this one. I'll give you 1 minute to answer, then we're going to check. Okay, start now. Okay, I think you're done, so we're going to check. Okay, so for number 1, everybody eyes on the board. Okay, so number 1, let's have this. 45%, so I changed already the 45% into 45 hundredths times 20. Again, you are going to start always with the formula. P equals R times B in order to memorize it. Okay, so we're going to multiply. 0 times 5 equals 0. 0 times 2 equals 10. Then 4. 4 times 0 equals 0. 4 times 2 equals 8. So we have 0, 0, 9. So the answer is 9. So let us see if our answer is 9. Okay, very good. So the answer is 9. Who got the correct answer? Alright, next for the number 2, we have 40 hundredths times 85. So bring down 0. Then 4 times 5 equals 20. Bring down 0. Carry up 2. We have 4 times 8 equals 32 plus 2, 34. Then the decimal places is 2. So we have 34. So the answer is 34. Okay, now number 3. So look at number 3. We have 5% of 360. If we're going to move the decimal points twice, only 1. So that is why in order to complete the movement of the 2 decimal places, we're going to add 0 here. So it becomes 5 hundredths. Can you follow? Hindi na 0.5, mali po yun ha. That is 5 hundredths or 0.05. Then multiply. So we have 5 times 0 equals 0. 5 times 6 equals 30. Bring down 0. Carry up 3. 5 times 3, 15 plus 3 equals 18. Then, count the number of decimal places. That 1, 2, 2. So, magiging, the answer is 18. So, let us see if our answer is correct. Okay, very good. So, the answer is 18. Who got 3? Okay, very good. This time, answer the following problems using 4 steps. Write your answer in your notebook. Okay. So, we have this. An ice cream store has 520 ice creams with chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry flavors. Sarap, yummy. 45% of an ice cream sold are vanilla and strawberry. What percentage is chocolate flavor? Alright. So, what operation we're going to use? So, in order to solve, you're going to answer what understand. Then, under the understand, you're going to answer what is asked. What are the given facts? plan. Under the plan, you're going to know what are the what strategy can you use to solve the problem, and what is the formula in in order to solve the problem, and solve. Then, after you solve, you're going to check your answer. Okay, I'll give you 1 minute to answer. Go. Okay, so I think you are done. We're going to check now. So, under understand, we have what is asked. What is the answer? Okay, so the answer is the number of chocolate flavor of an ice cream. So, we're going to find out uh, how many are chocolate flavor of an ice cream. And then, what are the given facts? We have 520 ice cream, and then we have 45%. Okay. Now, plan. So, under the plan, we're going to know what strategy we're going to use. The strategy is solve for the percentage of ice cream with chocolate flavor. And what is the formula in finding the percentage? Again, we have P equals R times B, or percentage equals rate times the base. Okay, then we're going to solve. Okay, I have already here. Okay, so we have the given facts is 40% times 520. So we have changed 45% in decimal number. This is 45 hundredths times 520. Now we're going to multiply first 5. 5 times 0 equals 0. 5 times 2 equals 10. Bring down 0, carry up 1. 5 times 5 equals 25 plus 1 equals 26. Now, multiply it by 4. 4 times 0 equals 0. 4 times 2 equals 8. 4 times 5 equals 20. Then, 20. Add. We have 0, 0, 6 plus 8 equals 14. Carry up 1. 1 plus 2 plus 0 equals 3. Then bring down 2. So let's have count the number of decimal places. 1, 2, 1, 2. So we have 234. And 234, that is a vanilla and strawberry flavor. So we're going to find the number of chocolate flavor. So we're going to subtract from 520. So we have This is the answer is 234. Now we're going to subtract in order to get the number of chocolate flavor. O ba na ice cream with chocolate flavor. So we have 520 minus 234. So we have cannot be, borrow from 2 becomes 1, then 10. 6, 1 minus 3 cannot be, borrow from 5 becomes 4. 11. 11 minus 3 equals 8. 4 minus 3 equals 2. So this is now the number of chocolate flavor. 286. Now class, why is it that this is an example of non-routine word problem? Because we have two operations used in order to get the answer. First, we get the percentage and then we subtract. Do you understand? Okay, very good. Now, how do we check? So we're going to check if our answer is correct. How? By adding the, we're going to add 234 plus 286. So that is 10, carry up 1, 12, carry up 1, 5. So, balik ulit si 520. That is what, the other words, our answer is correct. So that is how to check using the 4 steps in solving the word, a non-routine word problem. So, looking back again to the answer, we have, so, the number of chocolate flavor of an ice creams, the given facts, 520 ice creams and 45 vanilla and strawberry ice creams, and then solve for the percentage of the chocolate flavored ice cream. Then the formula is base, percentage equals rate times base. Then we solve, 55% is the, this is the other way of solving the, we subtract 100% minus 45 equals 55%. Then solve, so that is 286. Now, to check, we have 45% of the 520 equals 434. So, yung nakita natin doon kanina, then i-add natin, magiging 520. This is for checking. So, this is the other way of solving the non-routine word problem. Understood? Okay, now this time, okay, solve the following problems. Number 1, we have what is 35% of 275. Then number 2 is 90% of 360 is n. What is the value of n? Then the number 3 is what is 52% of 100. Okay, let us now solve. Number 1, what is the answer? Okay, let us solve. Okay, the answer for number 1 is 96 and 25 hundredths. Number 2 is, okay, so we have 360 times 90 hundredths, 0, 0, 54, carry 5. We have 27 plus 5 equals 32. Then, count the number of decimal places. So, we have 324. That is for number 2. The number 3, that is very easy. So, the answer is 52. Alright? Next, we have this one. Okay, there are 125 asynchronous learners Mr. Buena Vista had. Only 60% of them passed their output. How many learners didn't pass their output? So, you're going to use the 4 steps. Understand. Under understand, you're going to know what is asked, what are the given, then plan, what strategy can we use, what is the formula, then solve, and then check. Okay, so what is asked in that problem? So in that problem, asked the number of learners didn't pass their output. And that is the number of learners who didn't pass their output. The number, letter B, what are the given facts? So the given facts is 125% asynchronous, and then we have 60%. So that is the given facts, 125 and 60%. Then what strategy can you use? Okay, solve the percentage of learners didn't pass their output. What formula? Rate equals percentage equals rate times base. Now, we're going to solve. So, using the formula, P equals rate times base. Okay, so we're going to solve now. P equals rate times base. So the number of the percentage of the learners who pass their output is 60%. So we're going to subtract 100% minus 60%. Or we're going to solve directly. So let's have this one. Get the percentage. So we have 60% times 125. Then we have change to decimal number, 60 hundredths times 125. Okay, so 125 times 60 hundredths. Bring down 0, we have 30, carry 3, 12, 15, carry 1, 7. So 75 had passed their output. Ayan, 75 lamang ang nagpasa. The question is, the number of learners who didn't pass their output. Ilan ang hindi nakapagpasa ng kanilang output. So in order to get the number of the learners who didn't pass their output, we're going to subtract now the percentage from the original number. Okay, so i-minus natin si 75. 75 minus, 125 minus 75. 5 minus 5, 0. 12 minus 7 equals 5. So, there are 50 learners who didn't pass their output. Ayan. So, that is how to solve non-routine word problem. So, kung napapansin ninyo, ang given natin dito is percentage ng nagpasa. Pero ang tinatanong ay ang hindi nagpasa. That is why you have two operations to be used in order to get the answer. And that is an example of non-routine word problem. Okay, any question? Clarification. If you have clarification, you can chat me in a messenger. Okay. So if there is none, so what have you learned? Okay, we can categorize problem solving into two basic types. And what are the two basic types? We have routine problem and the other one is non-routine problem. The purpose and the strategies used for solving problems are different from each other. We have 4 steps in solving routine and non-routine problem. What are the steps? First, understand. Under the understand, you are going to know what is asked and what are the given. Then after you understand, you're going to plan. Under the plan, you're going to know the strategy that you are going to use. Then after you know the strategy, you're going to know also what is the formula that you are going to use. So after you plan, you're going to solve. And then after you solve, you're going to check your answer. Now, what is routine and non-routine word problem? Okay, so routine word problem solving involves using at least one of the four fundamental operations to solve problems that are practical in nature. Ayan, maliwanag. Isang operation lamang, it's either multiplication, it's either division, it's either addition, or subtraction. Kahit saan sa apat na basic fundamentals in mathematics. And the non-routine word problems class serves as different purpose and than routine problem solving. Ibig sabihin, mas naiiba daw siya. It's because it involves two or more operations in order to get the answer. Hindi siya pangkaraniwan, kaya tinawag siya non-routine. Pag sinabi ng mga routine, pangkaraniwan lamang. Lagi natin naririnig na problem. The answer, we can get the answer right away, even using mental strategy. Okay. And what is how do we find the percentage? To find the percentage of the given, multiply the rate to the base. Wherein, we're going to change first the rate into a decimal number. Wag muna tayo mag-multiply na naka-percent sign pa ang ating given na rate. Anong gagawin muna natin? Gawin muna natin siyang decimal number. Okay, by moving the decimal points twice to the left. And what is the formula in finding the percentage? The formula in finding the percentage is P equals R times B. Any question? If there is none, it is now your time to solve this given. Application class. This is the answer in these questions. You're going to take a photo and upload to your Google Classroom in your folder. Okay, so directions. Match column A to column B. Write the letter of your answers in a sheet of paper or pwede na rin sa notebook. Uulitin ko ha, yung sagot dito, ito yun ang ilalagay ninyo sa inyong Google Classroom. Baka maya-maya mali na naman ang inilalagay. Yung mga nauna hindi na po yun kasama. Ito lang yun at ang nasa huli. Maliwanag? Okay. So let's have this. Column A, column B. Okay. So we have, okay, bilis na. Ganun, hindi siya nabura. Okay. So column A, we have 90% of 90. 120 times 40%, 40 hundredths. Number 3, 5% of 60. Number 4, 88 times 2 hundredths. The number 5, 200 times 1/10. 1/10 yan, 10. So you are going to select your answer from the given choices. Okay, if you are done, let's proceed to the second one. Okay, directions. Choose the correct answer for each number in the box. So, dito tayo naman kukuha ng answer. Write it on a sheet of paper or again, pwede din sa notebook. At ang sagot ulit dito ay ilalagay din sa Google Classroom. Okay, so this is the questions. Leia bought a pair of shoes at a sale of 20%. If the tag price of shoes was 1,250 pesos, how much is the sale price? So, dito ka pipili ng sagot. Number 2, a book priced at 300 pesos is sold at 25% discount. How much is the sale price? Okay. Number 3, a test has 50 questions. If Ivan gets 80% of the questions correctly, how many questions did he miss? Then number 3, Grace has 68 grapes for the fruit salad. She only used 50% of them. How many grapes did she use? Then number 5, my dress was only 250 pesos but I also had to pay the 4% tax. How much did I pay? Again, answer na lamang, dito kakuha ng sagot. Okay, before we proceed to our evaluation, we're going to have a short exercise first. I know, medyo pagod na yung mga kamay. So you're going to follow the song and do also the exercise. Are you ready? Okay.
I'm alive, enthusiastic. I'm alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. I'm alive, alert, awake, awake, alert, alive. I'm alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. I'm alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. I'm alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. I'm alive, alert, awake, awake, alert, alive. I'm alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic.
Okay, did you enjoy our short exercise? Okay, let's proceed now to your assessment. And the answer for your assessment should be uploaded in your Google Classroom. Let's have this. Directions. Find the percentage. Write your answers in a sheet of pad paper or pwede na rin sa notebook. Ulit, answer na lamang ha. Number 1, 35% of 120 equals blank. Number 2, 50% of 60. Number 3, 25% of 55. And number 4, we have 40% of 90. The number 5, 20% of 90. Okay, test 2. Directions. Find the percentage. Write your answer in a sheet of pad paper. Dapat naulit lang. Okay. Letter B. So we have answered the problem below using the 4 steps. Write your answer only in a sheet of pad paper or in your notebook. Pwede na rin ulit. So I will read the question. There are 120 total animals in an animal park consisting of lions, tigers, and zebras. 60% of animals are lions and zebras. What percents are tigers? Okay? So, letter B class is 5 points if you got the correct answers. You're going to follow the steps in solving the non-routine word problem. What are the steps? Understand, plan, solve, and check. So under the understand, you have to answer what is asked and what are the given. For the plan, you have to know the strategy to be used and the formula to be used. Then after you done, this is your assignment. Write your reflection regarding to our lesson. 1, I understand that you're going to write your answer. Then number 2, I learned that. It's all about what you have learned. Thank you very much. Enjoy doing your activities. See you next week. Goodbye, class.